Welcome back to Enlightened Trading. My name is Conrad, and up we go, I guess. The most the most likely, no, how you say, the least likely thing to happen, happened. So, in my opinion, what would have been the most likely scenario is that we see a third touch, as we've seen right here, get our third confirmation of this falling trend line, and then have our descending triangle confirmed. And out of the ordinary, our lower high and our resistance area have been taken out, and now we look for the daily to finally get a close above the 200-day moving average. It has closed yesterday. Yesterday and today below the 200-day moving average. This is the EMA. So you want to look closely for that. Also, the 21 daily moving average is acting as resistance at the same time. So that should be noted too. Also, of course, there is previous resistance incoming, resistance which has been supported in the past, is of course now will act as resistance in the future. What do we do now? Well, my bid comparing positions have been taken out. Actually, on some of them on XRP, I exited before we got the big flush. I exited my XRP position, which basically entered right here on this breaking of resistance, and I don't mind trading this. This was actually a nice trade, and my basic proposition why I traded these bid comparing charts is because, I thought Bitcoin would go down in a more or less tight range, and we will see this play out over the next couple of days and maybe also weeks. So I thought that altcoins would have a rather likely option to see appreciation, especially in bid comparing charts. And this was basically under the proposition that Bitcoin will go sideways or even depreciate a little bit. So my basic assumption got neglected by the market, and that's also the reason why I exited. So you should know, if you are in these short positions, what your basic assumptions are and why you are in the market. And although these are more or less fundamental points, they are too detrimental matter to these bid comparing charts, since they will go down if Bitcoin appreciates more than these altcoins do. That's the way this works. I saw that Bitcoin was at resistance just below it, and I thought that it would be most likely actually to get rejected. But after I've seen that resistance got broken and taken out, I exited my positions, and we are now holding on Bitcoin. On the Ethereum, actually, we are still holding quite nice, and I also exited my position because I thought this would go down, but we are now consolidating below resistance, so there is a rather big likelihood that this will see continuation, although I didn't like this rejection of this trend line, which we had coming. So maybe this still is a confirmation. I could see this maybe this is an inverse head and shoulders already. This I think this still could go down, see another leg down, and then go up. But even if not, this could be a very nice play actually, coming into Bitcoin actually appreciating in value compared to the US dollar. So I got no alt compositions anymore. My ETC, BTC position, there it is. Interestingly, it never got filled, although we had like a 7 or even more, like 10%, 12% bounce yesterday. I exited as I've seen, or after seeing that Bitcoin appreciated, I exited my ETC position. Although, I mean, I most likely would have set my stop loss after it reaching like 6% gains, maybe like just below this area. There was my entry, and I would have set it a bit above to just get out, break even, or with a little profit. So it doesn't really matter that I didn't get filled, and I'm actually rather glad I pulled my order. So looking at Bitcoin, there it is. Yeah, we still have, or we are still consolidating on the hourly time frame, and that's not what I want to do. Excuse me. There it is. So yeah, we are consolidating on the hourly time frame. We have support confirmed, at least for now, around the support area of the 5% or under 50% retracement, and previous resistance. I would like to see this hold. This looked like it would be at this lower high and this hour high, but on the 4-hour you can see it's still a lower high. So nothing to get excited yet. But if this holds and we see sideways movement, then I think we are up and coming to break our resistance clusters. We also got our lucid stars now aligned on the bottom for the first time since mid to end September. So I think 3 weeks ish. 3 weeks. Yeah. And so that's nice. That's nice to know. These would act as support, or it's not that you want to look at them as support or resistance. You too want to look at them this way, but you also want to see how far away prices from their support or resistance lucid stars. So as you can see right here, when we broke down, our candlesticks were very far away on a daily time frame from the lucid stars. So there was no way we could see these break, or there was a very low likelihood that we see these break in the near future, and that we either have to consolidate or drop further and then see a sharp pullback. So we consolidated and now recently broke out. We dipped a bit below today, like 1.34%, but we recovered from it, and that's what I want to see on the 12th hour. We are holding up very nicely, and yeah, so we are at very important resistance on the daily, and if we see this pullback, maybe this could still play out uh, as a bear flag. If you draw like trend lines right here on the bottom, this still could be looked at as a bear flag, especially since this is very sideways movement. Even after our like 5 to 6% pump yesterday, or pump appreciation. A pump is like 20% in a day that I would consider a pump. So yeah, very interesting times to be and look at Bitcoin, or to be in Bitcoin and look at Bitcoin. If this holds up, and we see this break after being resistance, and or we basically broke through, and we are now broke to the downside again after of the 200 EMA on the daily time frame. If this recovers from it that quickly after like 2 weeks, that is a bullish sign, and I would consider this as very important support once we break through and close. Once you break through, close above it, and see another candle open above the 200-day moving average, then I would consider this as very important support, especially if this candle gets like significantly above the 200-day moving average. And then our next resistance would be at like 9,000 basically. So yeah, as I said, very very interesting times to be in Bitcoin. If the scenario plays out and we break this resistance cluster with the 21-day moving average and the 200-day moving average, just with the 0.5 retracement, which we basically broke, and our lucid stars, then this might be the last time Bitcoin is under, or was the last time Bitcoin goes under $8,000. Yeah. That is a point that has to sink in, I guess. This was or is a 45% retracement after reaching highs of basically $14,000, like 13.8. 50%, no, my bad. Yeah, 45% retracement, about 44, and that's what you want to look for in Bitcoin. You want to see these kind of retracements in bull trends or in bull moves to enter positions. Yeah, I mean, this still can get rejected, of course, and we still can get lower. Yes, no doubt. Although, if we break this resistance cluster, then, yeah, as I said, this might be the lowest Bitcoin will ever be. And that's awesome. That's just awesome. Yeah, so have to go to sleep, or want to go to sleep actually. Rather tired. Been studying quite a lot today, not as much, but will the next 2 days will be rather packed. So yeah. Hope you have a good night. I don't know if we'll hear from each other on the weekend. Maybe I'll get around on Sunday. I hope so. Maybe a video like maybe on Saturday, maybe even tomorrow. Tomorrow, more likely not. Maybe on Saturday, but I don't know. So Sunday would be the most likely scenario. So yeah, hope you have a good night, and I'll see you guys and girls back next time.